Tony Dalton plays Lalo Salamanca in the Emmy-nominated series Better Call Saul. He joined last season, I believe. I'm Matt Noble here from Gold Derby to ask, Tony, how wild is Lalo going to get moving forward?
Wow, man, you have no idea how crazy this is going to get. I mean, I don't want to say much because I can't. But the next 3 episodes, which are the last 3 of this season, I mean, it just gets out of control. It's really crazy what these guys wrote.
Okay, without giving us spoilers, without telling us what Lalo does or anything like that, can you give us 3 words to describe what's in store for it?
3 words to describe. Okay. So I'd say home. I'd say crazy, and maybe the word escape also.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I'm excited. What do you think this character brings to that world and the series?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I hope it brings a new character that people like. I think that it's a bit of a breath of fresh air to see somebody that's not taking everything so seriously, like as far as the bad guys are concerned, But Lalo is kind of this this dapper, kind of very charming guy, and I think that that's something that is nice to see. It's nice to sort of get the balances of the weight a little bit on both sides.
Mm. And this week we saw, I'm pretty sure your first scenes with Saul Goodman in the show. What was it like? What was it like playing off Bob and getting to enter sort of that sort of court world of the series?
Yeah. Well, the first scene I did with Bob was episode 3, and
yes,
in the garage where we get. But I mean, working with Bob is amazing.
Yeah,
that guy's he's really something else.
Yeah. No, fantastic. And what? Yes, and that's when you give him give him his first job to do.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. What's been the biggest challenge approaching this character for you as an actor?
The biggest challenge, I guess. I mean, I don't look at it as challenges. I look at it sort of as just like it's part of your job. You gotta. I think that the thing that I wanted to maintain the most is that the character has at the same time intensity and sort of danger, and also he's sort of kind and lighthearted. So you see a guy who can be dangerous at the same time as you kind of want to get along with him. He's kind of like somebody you go, oh yeah, I like this guy, and that's sort of something that I've tried to maintain, sort of level it so that you don't get too much of one thing and too much of the other. There's a little bit of charm in everything that Lalo does, but there's also a little bit of crazy.
Yeah. Bad dude, but he's sort of the life of the party at the same time.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
He's a bad dude, but he's the life of the party.
Exactly. That's exactly, and that's sort of been the biggest challenge, because there's a lot of scenes, and and you want to make sure you don't overdo it on either side. That he never becomes a clown, and also that he never becomes sort of Gus Fring, which is very serious and very somber, and it's a whole different character. Or not Gus Fring, but Gus Fring type, very, very intense. So it's a little bit of both. You want to keep them kind of trading on both sides.
Yeah. What has there been a scene so far in the series that you think's been an important one for your character?
A scene?
Yeah, scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch. I think the scene where you meet where Saul and Lalo meet for the first time. I think that's pretty important for the character. When he was with Gus, both times that he's with Gus, sort of gives you a little incline as to how much he doesn't care about this. You know, it's kind of like all the other Salamancas kind of take it a lot more seriously. For Lalo, he takes it seriously as far as his family's first and whatever they want, but it's not personal for him. So all those scenes, you see a little bit more. You see him kind of toying with this guy, and you go, yeah, this guy kind of doesn't care, you know? So, I mean, I personally would like to think that every scene that I do is important. I wouldn't want to say, especially with the writers writing season 6 right now, that one scene isn't important. I mean, you're asking me what scenes that Lalo does are important. Well, I mean, I take my job pretty seriously. I try to make every scene as important as possible, you know?
Mm. How do you think that Saul Lalo dynamic plays out? How do you feel like their relationship is defined?
I think that Lalo likes Saul because I think that he sees a lot of himself in Saul. I think that this sort of kind of charming, kind of talky, mouthy guy who kind of, you know, says, "Hey, how you doing?" You know. Even I think there's a scene where they Nacho asks me if I'm from the Salamanca, and I go, you know, something like that, and that's sort of something that Saul kind of does, you know. So I think that one of the things that Lalo likes about Saul so much is that he sees himself in him. He sees this sort of smart-assy guy that's kind of talky and try to get his way out. So that's why he likes him so much, you know.
Mm. You weren't in this series at the very beginning of the show. What was it like coming into this world as an actor and an already established, already Emmy-nominated series?
No, it was great. I mean, listen, I feel very fortunate to be able to be working with all these guys. I mean, from Vince and Peter and all the writers to all the directors to the crew to the actors. I mean, they already had a tight shit going, you know. I mean, some of these guys from John Banks and Giancarlo and Bob have been doing this for 10 years, you know, since Breaking Bad. So, you know, just showing up there and having everybody being so kind and everybody being so, I mean, everybody really is just so, you know, to get to dinner and, you know, you create friendships because you're in the middle of the desert for 5 months, you know, so there's nobody else around. It's just us. So I'm, you know, really grateful that I got to be able to work with all these guys and that it was such an amazing job and that, you know, that I was able to you know, put my 2 cents in and give a character that might be remembered, you know.
Mm. Can you think of a particular scene or moment or aspect to your character where you put your 2 cents in?
Scene where I put my 2 cents in?
Yeah, where you threw something in there or something you added to the character.
Oh, you mean like certain things? Well, it's this whole like blend of things, you know. I mean, for example, there's one scene when right in the beginning when I'm cooking. I think it said I give him the plates to Nacho, and I said it said I use coriander or something like that, or no, cilantro or something. And I said, listen, man, I mean, cilantro is not that big of a deal in Mexico, but epazote is. So I turn around and I go, hey, I use the epazote, come on. It's those little things. It makes it a little more real, or even when I'm speaking Spanish, certain things that are slang in Spanish that makes it more light, you know, that maybe if you didn't know Spanish that well, you wouldn't be able to just throw those kind of things out there, you know.
Mm. Yeah. And here's a bit of a dangerous question. How you most like Lalo?
How do I most like Lalo?
How are you most like him?
Oh, how am I most like him? I don't know. I guess maybe the lightheartedness that he has. You know, I think I don't take myself that seriously. So that's maybe something we have in similar.
We talk about your character, and I think something interesting is because Better Call Saul's a prequel to Breaking Bad, there are some characters in the show who we've seen in Breaking Bad. We sort of know how their story ends, at least in that sort of world. There's also characters who we've never seen in Breaking Bad, people like Kim, people like Chuck. What's going to happen to them? We don't really know. And then there's your character who we don't see in Breaking Bad. We don't really know how your story ends, but you're mentioned in Breaking Bad. So we've got that sort of, how does that, as an actor, how does those dynamics play out for you? You're sort of in the middle world there. We don't see how your story ends, but we have heard of you in the Breaking Bad story.
Yeah, well, I mean, what can I tell you? I've thought about that a lot. I mean, what the hell's going to happen with this guy? But
yeah,
whatever it is that happens, I'm grateful to be able to be part of it. If I die in the next episode, or if I die in the next 4, or because I can't even tell you, I could die in the next one. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I can't really say much, but I'm just really thankful of the work that I got and be able to play this character and till the end.
Yeah. Do you get that when you get scripts, you get nervous that you might die in that script?
I really don't, to be honest with you. I mean, I've heard of other actors that do. I don't at all. I mean, it's not real. It's not like I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, fine, but why? So that you can't work anymore? You just, you find another job and stuff. I mean, this job's great, and I wish I could keep going forever, but sooner or later it's going to end. And if it ends in the next episode with me dying, I'm very grateful for what I had. It's not like, oh God, why did I die? It's like, okay, cool, it's good. I get to die. It's not real, it's part of the character. And I think also sometimes it's even better to be in it just a little bit, because you just show they just kind of a little like, what the hell? Look at that guy. Who was that guy? That guy was doing a great job. Or sometimes it's also great to be in it longer and you go, look, that guy's still there. I love that character. So either way, I'm good. If I keep going, I'm super grateful, and if I die, I'm super grateful that I got the job.
Yeah, I guess even in in TV, death's an opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. We've got and I think you won't be doing this job forever because it has been announced that the 6th season will be the final season of Better Call Saul, I believe, and because even if you last to the whole way to the end, there's one more season to go. How do you feel about the show wrapping up?
Fine. I mean, I think that was always the plan. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, sometimes shows don't have to go on for 12 seasons. Sometimes they only have planned a certain story that fits during a certain time, sort of like Breaking Bad did, or Sopranos or something. And if it's 6 seasons, it's a good run, man. It's a really good run. And I think that the 6th one's going to have 13 episodes, so that's even almost half as much more. And I'd rather something end great than something fade away and keep doing it, and then it becomes sort of like, oh yeah, that should have ended before, like many shows that we've seen, that's happened. So I think that these guys know exactly what they're doing, Peter and Vince. They always have this plan, and if it's 6 seasons, I feel great that they're doing 6 seasons. I mean, what can I tell you?
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's good not to have things going too long, and it's going to mean the episode total for Better Call Saul is very similar to Breaking Bad. So there's a nice sort of symmetry there. Like, it'd be sort of weird if it went on. Yeah, it'd be weird if it went on years longer than Breaking Bad, in a sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's like you said, the end of something is the beginning of another thing. I think also Peter and Vince said, okay, this is great, and all the writers, and they said, this is wonderful. Let's do one more season, wrap this thing up, impeccably, do this perfectly, and let's do something else. I mean, it's okay. That's part of this whole thing. That's what we're doing here. You can't just do one thing for the rest of your life. I mean, as far as you're an actor, you try to find, or a creator, you try to find different projects and different things to be doing with the years, you know, and make sure that the one that you do, even with the one that I did before, that Señor Ávila, the HBO, and I mean, there was a point where they wanted to keep going for 7 seasons, and it was like, no, there is no more seasons. There's only 4. And I mean, otherwise it's just going to be ridiculous. And we ended it because it was the right time to do it. So, you know, I don't really take it personal or feel bad that something's going to end. It's also something nice, you know, it's bittersweet. Yeah, it's got to come to an end, and thank God they're going to do it the right way. And also, well, it's sad that you're not working and you're not going to do that character anymore. And he's sort of gone to the past, you know.
With making the show, does anything come to mind, a particularly special moment of filming, which was just sort of magic?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
All those times you're out in the desert filming, you know, and those sunrises that are unbelievable. To doing, you know, scenes with Bob and with Giancarlo. I mean, I've been watching these guys since Breaking Bad. Just sit down there and just to sort of do the work, and you know, it's amazing. You know, it's a wonderful experience. I wouldn't want to pick one over the other because the whole experience has been just so gratifying and so beautiful.
And to wrap up, Tony, I'm wondering if you just say, what's your favorite thing, or one of the things you love about the show? Not necessarily about your character, but just about Better Call Saul. What do you think's the sort of special thing about that series?
If I had to pick one thing, I'd probably go with the writing. I think that, I mean, it's impeccable. You know, these guys are masters of what they do. It's unbelievable that, you know, the way that they kind of sort of slowly draw you into this life of this person and this character, so you understand them so well, and then they just start, you know, beating the character, which means you're beating the audience. It's just unbelievable. I mean, so many little things, and at what point to say what thing, so that the audience understands this about that character. You know, there's a thing last night that I did where Bob tells me that the people that are behind me in court is the family of the guy that Lalo kills. And Lalo doesn't really kind of take that very seriously. He goes, "Oh yeah, okay." And that makes Saul go, "What the hell is wrong with me? Who is this guy? This guy's crazy." And at that moment, they picked that moment for you to explain how crazy and how dangerous this character really can be, you know, and through the eyes of the protagonist. So that kind of like very specific writing, I think, is just masterful, to be honest with you.
Well, Tony, it's been great chatting today, and so interesting. It's such a fun but intense character on the show. And for everyone watching this interview, you can go to goldderby.com to make your Emmy predictions and compete against the experts and editors from around the world, as well as you can join the forums and watch other celebrity interviews. Thanks so much for talking today, Tony.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Stay safe.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you too.